Let me tell you about an organization that needs your help year-round. Jeremiah Program is breaking the cycle of poverty 2 generations at a time by empowering single moms to pursue college degrees while their children receive high-quality early education. And your gift provides critical support that makes success possible. So go on over to jeremiahprogram.org/Austin to give today and learn how you can be part of the movement to disrupt generational poverty. Again, that's jeremiahprogram.org/Austin. You and I may not be loving this weather, but you know what is? Cedar. Today on CityCast Austin, I'm talking to an expert on how we can survive this insufferable time of year and why we are just getting started. It's Wednesday, January 22nd. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, I am here with Dr. Neha Reshamwala, doctor and founder of Frontier Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology. Hello, Dr. Resh. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
So it has been said that Austin is the allergy capital of the world. And listen, as someone who is currently fighting for her life with allergies, it feels like we're living up to that title. Why is it so bad here? What is going on?
Yes, it is the allergy capital because the way the structure of the land is what actually allows there to be allergies in every single season. So right now and everyone probably knows already that we're in cedar season. And cedar season usually runs between December and beginning of March. And during that time, it's ash juniper actually is the tree that actually releases the pollen that we call cedar, mountain cedar. And it usually occurs, and sometimes, certain seasons are worse than others. And the reason why that kind of shows up that way is because of how the weather is during this time. So this year has actually been notorious where it's been a much drier season. And also we've had those cold fronts kind of come in, and then the temperature kind of rises up a little bit. And so this is like the perfect storm for cedar to pollinate and kind of release itself everywhere. And so we've had a lot more drier weather, and also with those cold fronts and then the high winds, it's blowing cedar everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
And really for us, kind of this year, cedar starts usually mid-December-ish, but this year it was almost towards, I would say almost close to Christmas and a little bit past Christmas to New Year's.
Yeah.
And then it started going gangbusters. And that's because, again, it's because of the dry weather that we've been having. And also we get those cold fronts that come in for 3-4 days, and all of a sudden it's freezing, and then it kind of gets warm again. And that's perfect for cedar. It loves that weather.
Oh my gosh.
So that's why it's just gone gangbusters. I mean, I'd say in the last few weeks, there have been days where the cedar counts have reached up into the thousands.
Jeez. Oh my God.
That's why it's not uncommon for people to be like, I feel something's happening to me.
Yeah. I really want to talk about the symptoms of this because it feels like you're sick. And I think it catches people off guard. So what are some of those symptoms? Why do we call it cedar fever? And why do we feel like we're sick?
Perfect. No, that's awesome. Those are perfect questions. So basically, cedar fever got its name is because when your body develops allergies to the cedar pollen, it can be very significant. And what happens is it kind of mimics cold and flu-like symptoms. The main difference is that cedar causes an inflammation, and that is actually the inflammation that causes some slight increase in body temperatures. But cedar or allergies themselves do not cause fever. So that's a major descriptive difference between colds and flus and cedar allergies. And the other thing is also to keep in mind, a lot of times when it comes to having really bad allergies, you get a lot of itching, like itchy eyes, itchy nose, itchy ears, those kinds of things. So, the stuffy and the runny, kind of feeling tired a little bit. But again, the level of tired and achiness is not as, let's say you get the flu.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a different
Not as
level.
severe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's much more severe when it comes to those symptoms. And so, really, if you try allergy medicines or take an antihistamine over the counter and things like that, and you feel better, well, that's kind of let you know, like, okay, this is an allergy problem.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
if you take that and it's like, I still feel kind of yuck crap for the next week or so, then you're more likely to say, okay, I have a cold or virus or something else going on. And a lot of times I just tell people, like, listen, if you're not sure, just get it checked out. This time of year is tough because we have the severe allergies going on, but at the same time, we've also had really high flu and other viruses going around for everybody. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Yeah. And along those lines, I'm curious. So I've been in Austin my whole life. And so I have a plan. I have a program that I follow. Like I start taking tinctures for cedar fever in November to like to try to just like make it to where I can just exist. I take Zyrtec every day. What are some other practical steps that people can take to just reduce exposure and feel a little better? Is it only just like straight up take your antihistamines and that's it? Or are there other things that we can be doing?
No, that's great, actually. So, really, a couple things is actually one piece is just looking at environmental controls. One thing is obviously check your pollen counts. There's so many different sites available, and you can go on and, we have one too, and you can just check it out and they'll tell you, like, today, this is the cedar count level. It's not just cedar sometimes, it can be mold. It could be grass. It could be a combination of different allergens coming at play. So kind of monitoring that and kind of seeing like, okay, how high is this going on a particular day is really helpful. Other things to keep in mind, if you know you have outdoor allergens, then really keeping your windows closed. You're driving, don't put your windows down,
Yeah.
right? Really using good air purifiers in your home can be very helpful. Other things to keep in mind, like, of course, you want to be able to go outside because the weather does look beautiful and it's very
Right. It's
nice, right? You
beautiful
want to have a good time.
outside.
Yeah, you want to have a good time outside. You're like, okay, let me do something. And so if you do spend time outdoors, couple things. If you know your cedar allergy or the allergies during this time are very severe for you, you can always consider wearing a mask just as a little extra layer of protection.
Yeah.
Also, when you get back in, you got to immediately take those clothes off that you're wearing. You want to take a shower, wash your hair, because that really helps get that pollen off of you.
What? My partner literally yesterday, like, this is kind of her first time. She's one of those unfortunate people that have like lived in Austin for years and didn't really get allergies until recently. But she came in
Sure.
and she was like, yeah, I'm like, I'm just trying everything. So I washed my hair because I'm like, maybe the pollen's in my hair. And I was like, that's ridiculous. So she's going to feel very validated
That's
that you're
awesome.
like, no, wash your hair, get it off your
No,
clothes. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's great. And
awesome.
just put them in the wash, your clothes, and just don't traipse them around your house. The other thing is really keeping an eye on your bedding, like washing your bedding and your sheets, on a regular basis helps because, you're
Yeah.
bringing in things on you. And, if the pollen is on you, it's going to, kind of transfer itself onto your bedding. So that also helps a lot.
Wow.
So those kind of basic things can really help
Yeah.
at least minimize or reduce your level of exposure. So that can kind of help.
Yes, of course it's on your clothes. It's on your clothes. It's everywhere. And I don't even think about that. That's awesome. So, okay. So looking back at 2025, how are we comparing to other years? Because it feels like every year I'm like, this is the worst it's ever been. This is the worst it's ever. Like every year, I feel like I'm making that declaration every year. So is it is it actually getting worse? And if so, what is driving that? Or is this on par?
I mean, honestly, I would say it's pretty much on par. I mean, there is variability year to year. Like last
Yeah.
year, right? The weather was a little bit different. We didn't have as much cold fronts, right? It was a kind of a warmer winter last year, like 24 to
Yeah.
25. So because of that, there was not this extreme differential in the weather, cold fronts and then getting warm and things like that. Also, I think we had a little bit more rain last year during
Yeah, that's
the
right.
winter season compared to this year, and also some more moderate, warmer temperatures overall. So I think that made a difference in that it's on par, but the total amount of level of pollen can vary. And I think
Mm,
this year, because it's been so dry and the winds are so strong and the weather has been so up and down, that the winds have carried the pollen very strongly throughout the whole area. And it definitely has been, in a way higher. But there are times even last year that they were just as high.
Okay.
Maybe it wasn't as many days, or it wasn't as strong of like the longest period of time. Like this year, it's like started in beginning of January and we're still going strong. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone, it's miserable, right? Because everyone's feeling it right now, because it's just so high on a regular, like any regular day. So I think that's really the main difference is that overall, I can't say that it's necessarily gotten worse.
Yeah.
I think that every year, if you have a cedar allergy, every year is worse. Like
Yeah.
every
It's
year
just
you're
bad.
gonna feel it and it's gonna be there, and your body will just do things differently depending on also what's going on inside your body and your immune system that particular time too. So,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
happening to you a year ago, in your immune system could be totally different than this year. And so your body can also react or respond differently to those things. So I think that also kind of plays a role.
I don't know if it's placebo or not, but I'm sold on these tinctures, on this Texas cedar allergy tincture that I get from
Yeah.
Whole Foods.
Yeah.
It seems like it really works. It seems like it eases it up for me. It's like you have the flu shot, you have COVID. Now they're doing a pneumonia shot or vaccine. Like they're like I have all these vaccines. I got my
Yeah.
tinctures. I got my
Yeah. Yeah.
antihistamines. like
You're like a pharmacy gone wild.
exactly. I'm
You're
just
like,
like
line it up.
lining it all up. And I know I'm not the only one. Like, I know I'm not the only one that's just like, I'm trying to fight everything from every freaking angle. And so I'm curious, like, I take my antihistamine year round because my allergies in totality are terrible. But for other people, are there things that we could be doing to boost our immunity starting in October or November to prepare? Or is it just like, may the odds ever be in your favor, get all your vaccines and hope for the best, which is fine too.
No, no, thank goodness that that's not the case. I think that, I mean, a couple things. One is, of course, when it comes to viruses and things like that, right? I mean, obviously doing the best you can. Viruses are, because also school starts up in August, September. There's germs everywhere. Viruses
Yeah.
going on all over the place, right? And then, this is flu season too. So we know that. So though, and COVID also is just goes up and down. I don't even know how that thing functions sometimes. So basically, really protecting yourself from those types of things are important just for our general health, right?
Right.
And making sure that we're not getting really sick or super sick with these kinds of viruses. And then at the same time, that's also keeping our immune system like stable and boosted. And then when it comes to the allergy side of things, I think that, I think Austin is very, because Austin has allergies all year round. I think what
Mhm.
happens for people is that we kind of get used to it. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
is our norm, right? So whatever we're used to as your baseline is your baseline. So you could
Yeah, we
have
just get
really
used
bad
to it.
allergies and you'd be like, I'm fine. It's all right. It's not a big deal.
It's not as bad as last year.
Yeah, you're like, I'll take an antihistamine here and there. Oh yeah, I'll take it. I have to take it maybe, 3, 4 days a week, or, that season, like, I'm going to take it every day and then I'm going to stop it
Mhm.
and try again. And, that is a very common thing. And what
Yeah.
happens is a lot of times we don't know how bad our inflammation is and how reactive we
Oh.
really are to these pollens and allergens. And it could be all year round and we're just used to it, so we don't know any better. So I think that's one piece to keep in mind is that, things that you can do to really help yourself is one, I would say pretty much get it tested and figured out. With how the pollens are all year, it's kind of important and worth it to get it checked out to see, okay, how allergic am I? Am I
Yeah.
allergic to a lot of things? Am I only allergic to cedar? Is that the only season that's bad for me? Like, what's going on? Right. And then
Yeah.
that helps really be more specific and how you can do things to, like you said, like prepare yourself. Like, if you only have a cedar allergy, then you'll know, like, hey, I know come beginning of November, I'm going to start like like my regiment, or I'm going to start my, antihistamines and saline rinse and allergy drops and, over the counter remedies that that are available. At the same
Mm.
time, if they're, when you're, allergies here, like I said, if they're causing enough quality of life issues for yourself, like, there's a lot of people who are like, I don't go outside.
Oh
Like
man.
people are like,
Yeah.
I don't go outside. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know. Is that really a good way to live your life that you don't go outside here? Even if it's nice outside,
For
you're like, I don't step
months?
out of my set. Yeah, for months. They're like, I stay indoors a lot. Or I stopped working out outside. That's a big one I hear.
Oh
People don't work out
yeah.
outside. They're working at the gym or indoors on a
Yeah.
treadmill because they recognize that if they're going out during this time of year or any other time of year that they're getting bothered by the allergies, they're feeling it, and
Yeah.
then it affects their ability to exercise properly, affects breathing, congestion in the nose. All these kinds of things are going on for people. And I think that that's how it can be effective to know and then have a plan so that you can actually help yourself along with those environmental controls I was talking about earlier. Putting everything kind
Yeah.
of together can be really, really helpful.
Now, I actually am. uh, It's time for me to get another allergy testing. It's time for me to get allergy testing done. And I know that there are shots for dog and cat allergies, but do we have shots for seasonal allergies?
Yes, we do have actually treatments for allergies. So again, if you're curious or you feel like your symptoms are like, just constantly bothering you every year or it's all year
Hmm.
round or anything like that, or you feel like again it's affecting the quality of your life in any way, the first step is getting that skin test done so then we can be very
Yeah.
specific. Then the second step is that depending on what shows up for you, then the discussion can come about of like, okay, how do we manage these things in a more long-term way? Right? How are you
Yeah.
going to feel better like 3, 4 years from now? And then what do you do also in the moment as the allergens come up for you? And so I think that there's a combination of, medicine regimens and things like that that help deal with the inflammation in an acute sense and kind of control things. But the long-term way to actually treat allergies is actually to consider doing immunotherapy. And what you're talking about is there's actually, allergy shot immunotherapy, and then there's also
Hmm.
allergy drops, like the sublingual underneath the tongue therapy. So now we have, two different options also available for people, again, depending on their lifestyle, economics, all these things come into play for everybody and, what their level of comfort is.
Listen, sign me up. Sign me up. I'm over it.
I love it.
I have a weird question. So above and beyond pollens in the air, does general air quality play a part in allergy sufferers? Like does just like the general air quality play a part in things?
Definitely. I think like a week or two ago, I think like a week ago, like you look outside and it was all hazy
Yeah, yeah.
and look like really smog. Like you're like, what is
Mhm.
going on? I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like, why does it look that bad? And then if you check, actually, the air quality was not good that day. And
Wow.
so that also does play a big role because in the allergy world, yes, you get those basic symptoms like I was talking about, but also we have to keep in mind that asthma is also part of that with allergies. So
Yes. Yes.
allergies can definitely, exacerbate someone who has asthma or has asthma symptoms. It can get worse for them during this time. And then also you add in the, air quality being bad, it's like compounding things for people and really causing them to have a little bit more extreme triggers going on. So definitely the air quality has a huge role, right? And of course, as
Yeah.
Austin has grown and become more cosmopolitan, and as we've had more industry
Mm.
come into play,
Yep.
then of
Yes.
course our air quality has also changed.
I know that I've already said this, but as someone who has allergies all year round, it often feels like I have no idea which season, all of my seasons blend together. But there are actually, if I'm, please correct me if I'm wrong, there are actually like different seasons of allergies, different types of allergies. And so when does cedar fever end and then the next season begin for those people that are lucky enough to get some reprieve or like just when does this end and then is there a do we have a break between the
Well,
end of this season and the beginning of the next?
Well, what's interesting is that, Austin and this area, within Texas is notoriously known that we actually have a allergy calendar. So just interesting, right? We
Oh
actually
my
have a
God.
calendar that shows where the allergies and which ones are doing what, where, and how high, and all this stuff. So we know that between December and beginning March, we know it's cedar or ash
Yeah.
juniper. Just as cedar ends, you may get a reprieve for a week, maybe two,
A
and then we're
week.
going. Yeah, I was like, well, a week or two, and then you're going into oak season,
Oh,
which is the spring season. And of course, there's other trees also playing a role during this time and things like that. But then it's like oak is notoriously known to be like March, April, May.
and that's the green and yellow stuff all over the place.
Yes, the whole
Ugh.
car is like covered in yellow, and you're
Yes.
like, what is
Ugh.
going on? And you have to, wash your driveway off and all that. Yeah, that's for sure. And then we go from that into after, May, then we got June, July, August, and that's grass allergy.
Yes.
And grass allergy actually is very highly known to be very reactive for people also that season. And so that's another component. And then as we finish June, July, August, we're going to go into fall, September, October, November, and that's ragweed, weed season.
Oh,
So ragweed
killing
is
me.
there. So it's all year round. We have something.
There's something.
There's something all the time. And
Oh,
then put in all the year round stuff too. Don't forget, you got the molds, you got
molds.
indoor
Yeah.
stuff like dust mite allergies, cat and dog. All those things are, indoors, right? So that's another added layer, right? Because in the winter, if you have indoor allergies too, and you're staying inside and the heater's on and all this stuff is happening, then you can also flare up because of those things.
Listen, everybody just go get tested. Just go get tested. Okay, I have to ask you something. I don't know if you can do this. So if you can't,
Hmm.
that's fine. But
Sure.
like, do you have a recommendation for eye drops? I asked like 6 people. I was like, I'm going to be talking to an allergist. What is the thing that I should selfishly ask? And
Uh-huh.
literally all 6 of them was like, eye drops. I just need to know where to get eye drops.
That's awesome.
We're all just
Uh,
struggling with eye drops.
let's see. Eye drops. So, okay, there's a couple things. One is that, of course, there's over the counters, right? So
Yeah.
there are over the counter eye drops, right? So you have like the ketotifen eye drops, right? And then you have the olopatadine eye drops, and then you have the azolestine eye drops. These are different kinds of eye drops, but they still focus on the same type of thing, which is their antihistamines for your eyes, right? And so then honestly, a lot of times it can be like a trial and error, right? Because you're like, okay, which ones will work best for me? And then, keeping in mind that, using the allergy eye drops, you can't just use it once and be like,
Mm.
oh, it's not working. And I'm like, well, hold on. I'm like, I don't know why it's not working, but okay, if you're having itchy eyes and this is a bad season, then you kind of have to be a little bit more, like, I guess you could say, on top of it of saying, okay, I'm going to do it every day or maybe
Every
even
day.
twice a day, dealing how bad it is, like morning
Yeah.
and evening or at night, and do that for at least like a certain number of days in a row, right? So that it
Wow.
helps
Yeah.
calm that inflammation down because you're still going to be exposed to it every day. So, and then the other thing is also, I really tell a lot of people keep your eyes flushed if you can, meaning lubricating drops or, saline to flush it,
Yeah.
wash your face twice a day. That really helps to keep the pollen off the eyelids and off your lashes. And so that also can be really helpful. So, there's those options. And then again, if it's something that, you doing this and it's still not giving you what you need, then that's when you're going to go see the allergist or your primary care, somebody, and be like, hey, I need a prescription strength
Yeah.
medication now to help me.
Wow. You know what? And I'm so mad at myself because just now you were like, wash your face twice a day. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a really good idea, too. Because pollen can get on your eyelid. Like, why am I not thinking of these things? Yeah, of course you should wash your face twice a day. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
So, okay, last question. So, if people, I think I want to talk timeline, because I think sometimes people feel like that once the allergies are started, then that's it. Then you're screwed. You should have gotten on top of them before they started. Is there a timeline to like, all right, well, if you haven't started jumping on it by now, then you're screwed? Or can you really just like seek help, get the tests, do what you need to do at any point during when you're suffering from allergies?
I mean, I would say that yes, at any time you can always, if you're starting to feel symptoms, and obviously, especially like, year after year, you're like, okay, this is becoming a, you know, repetitive common theme, then
Yeah.
at any time you can come and get tested and figure out exactly right, like I said, how bad is it? And what exactly are you allergic to? Now, at the same time, the whole point of coming in to see the specialist is that we help determine, depending on how your inflammation is, how your symptoms are, how
Mm,
bad is it for you, if we'd want to do something where we help take care of that acute inflammation first, try to
mm.
calm it down, and then once your body is able to like relax a little bit with the symptoms and the inflammation, then we have you come in and then do the test, because then your body can handle doing the test a little bit better, because to do the test you have to be off medicine for a certain number of
Oh,
days,
that's right. Yeah, that's
right?
right.
Because otherwise, we won't get an
Yeah.
accurate result, right? Because we want to make sure nothing's blocking in your system when
Mm,
you're doing the test. So
yeah.
that really helps.
Dr. Resh, this has been amazing. This has been so validating and awesome. Thank you so much for being here and coming on and talking about allergies. I am like, at this point, I'm like, I'm making an appointment. I need to get my shots. I need to do everything. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
Okay, y'all, before we go, here's a little midweek mood boost for you. So, we are hosting our first CityCast Austin event of the year with exclusive member perks. Save the date for February 12th for our trivia night at Stargazer. And yeah, you heard that right. Trivia curated by us just for our members. And if you haven't been to Stargazer, y'all, it is cute. So make sure you put this on your calendar. Again, it's February 12th. That's a Thursday. And if you're not a member yet, become one now. Go to membership.citycast.fm, become a member, and you can come to our cute little event that's happening on the 12th. That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find links to Dr. Resh's practice in our show notes. And if you enjoyed the show, tell your friends, rate the show, leave us a review, tell us all about your allergies, because I know you're struggling. And of course, subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. And once again, if you really love us, you want to come to our little event that we're having that's going to be very, very fun and very cute, become a neighbor today. Go to membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.